watch that event. Do you get into that one?
I was watching it when Kevin Hart was on it.
Okay.
Once Kevin Hart stopped doing it, I stopped watching it.
Okay.
When he was on it, he was hilarious.
That's one thing I've never gotten into. Celebrities, like softball games at the All-Star game in baseball. I want to see the guys do it. I don't care to see a celebrity, right? Like how, if Damian Lillard shooting the three-point this weekend, I'm locked in. I cannot wait to see him in the three-point. But if Bradley Cooper is trying to shoot a jumper tonight, I just don't care. I really don't.
I gotta see something.
It's never connected for me.
Yeah, it always depends on the celebrity and, what they're doing.
By the way, Janelle Monáe might be too talented. Is that possible?
She's talented.
She can do everything.
She could act, too. Yeah.
Acting. I haven't even heard, well, that's not true. I've heard her sing. I've heard her sing a song or two on an award show. But I've never heard a whole album. But apparently you're going to get to do that. I'll do that as well. All right, so there's your musical update. We'll see what other music Zay's got for us today. We hope you are having a good Friday. There's a lot of people commenting today on this Jalen Rose haircut comment. Jalen says $100 minimum for a haircut. Somebody texted us $100 for a men's haircut. Rich people are stupid. $25 for a quality cut, high fade, and Anderson Lane at the Anderson Lane Barbershop. Hit them up.
There it is.
There it is. Now, I think there's certain things that I would never, ever pay a certain amount for. And I would tell you that in my situation, based on who I am, even if I was paying for it, wouldn't matter how much money I ever made. I would never pay $100 for a haircut.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either.
I just wouldn't do it. So there's certain times where I just realize, okay, not going to do that. I've told this story on air before, too. When I first went, one time I went to Tiffany's in Chicago. I was just walking around, what's the famous, Michigan Avenue. Walking around Michigan Avenue, I went into Tiffany's to kill a little time, and I went and looked at flatware, just basic flatware. It was around the time we were getting married, so I thought, I'm going to go price compare, right? Just have some fun. So I went and found a fork, and it was $90. A fork.
Boy, oh boy.
That was just part of the set, obviously, but it was, and I told myself, no matter how much money you ever make, you're never paying $90 for a fork. That's never going to happen. So I will not pay $100 for a haircut either. But we've had a lot of good reactions to that today.
Yeah, it's ironic because I get haircuts not to look homeless, yet if I keep paying this rate,
right?
If I went up 100, then I'm going to be homeless because I'm trying to look nice, trying to get a haircut.
All these people with really nice haircuts living under bridges because they paid way too much for the haircut. What is going on? All right, a lot of stuff out there today. Obviously, basketball-wise, we talked about Texas and Oklahoma in the Right Call segment. We'll continue to preview that weekend matchup. Huge game there at the Moody Center tomorrow. Texas baseball will get cranked up tonight at 7. They get an SEC feel to start the season. Arkansas tonight, Missouri tomorrow, Vanderbilt on Sunday. Texas women's basketball playing West Virginia on Sunday afternoon. That's at Moody Center as well if you want to go check out the women this weekend. And softball is also at home this weekend. They got a doubleheader today and tomorrow and a game on Sunday. So if you want to get over and check softball out, you can do that as well. All right, Zay, we got a couple of NFL things to get into. Your choice. You want to talk about this rule or Micah Parsons?
Let's talk the rule first.
Okay. So you keyed me into this. Somebody, I guess at the highest levels of the NFL, they may be talking about changing the quarterback sneak rule?
Yes, the tush-push rule is what they're calling it. And, yeah, they're looking to get rid of it. We know the Philadelphia Eagles were really capitalizing on Jalen Hurts and the fact that they would go for it on fourth down so frequently because they knew their quarterback who squats 700 pounds plus the tush-push rule, most likely going to get that first down every single time. Like his statistics on getting first downs were ridiculous, like 95%, 96%. It's nuts. So, yeah, NFL, they may outlaw it, which...
So what's the rule going to have to be? You just can't touch him?
You can't push. You can't, like, once, I guess he jumps across, that's it.
Yeah, so some people need to help me out. Let's go back to that Bush push thing because that's where I first heard about it. 04-05, I think it may have been the 05 Texas championship season when USC went to Notre Dame. I think it was in South Bend. The Bush push game. Matt Leinart reaches out and just pushes Reggie Bush into the end zone. And at that moment, it was either that the rule said you couldn't and they missed it, or the rule did state that that's how it worked and you could do it. So over the years, they've clarified that rule to say college and pro football, and I think it's in high school as well. You're allowed to push a teammate as far as you want. You can't pull him. You can't go into the end zone and then reach back and yank him across, but you're allowed to push him, and I have no problem with it, Zay. By the way, I'm a fan of a team in this division. They are the thing the Cowboys have to deal with now, but if the Cowboys can't stop Jalen Hurts and a couple dudes pushing him, then that's a Cowboys problem.
Yeah, I think it's weak. I think it's really weak, but
you just leave it alone?
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop them in the early downs so they don't get in the situation where they have to do the tush push.
Yeah, and by the way, once we learned that rule and it became clear, I've been wondering for years why people aren't doing what the Eagles are doing. It's never made sense to me. I've always thought, run a dude in motion, and then when you snap the ball, that guy just turns upfield and pushes.
Well, it's a big part of the reason why the TCU Horned Frogs don't have a Big 12 championship, because they weren't willing to do that with Max Duggan, whether he was healthy or not, right, in the Big 12 championship game against Kansas State. They were on the 1 or 2 yard line. Everybody was like, okay, let's go tush push because it's unstoppable. Instead, Sonny Dykes and Garrett Riley, they give it to Kendre Miller, and he gets stopped, and they lose the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, they got way too clever on that drive.
So stupid.
It was so silly. Here's another idea. What if you put like whoever it is, Travis Kelce, whatever it is, put your blocking tight end in. What about pulling a tight end over for that? I've thought of that too. Maybe don't use a tackle, but pull your tight end. Make him literally pull on the play. As that play starts, have him just run right over there and grab the quarterback and shove him. I have no problem with the rule. I don't know why they would change it. That does not make any sense. But plus, Zay, there's enough in the NFL right now that looks purty. There's enough designed for purty offense, chunking the ball all over the field. Can we get a little grimy? Can we have a little old school nuts and bolts grime to this game, please? That makes me think of old school stuff. The quarterback sneak is one of the few things we've got left that harkens back to like old school football. Can we please leave it alone?
Former NFL referee Dean Blandino, yes, thank you. He says it amounts to rugby scum. The NFL wants to showcase the athleticism and skill of our athletes. This is just not a skillful play.
Stop it, Dean. You got to stop. The skill is on display. If you're watching this NFL and you're telling me, you know what we're not displaying is the skill of the players, you're completely missing it. Patrick Mahomes, all these quarterbacks, all these receivers making those catches, and you're telling me the game is boring?
He also goes on to say this is just a tactic that is not an aesthetically pleasing play, and I think the competition committee is going to take a look at it.
Not to your eyes, it's not. What aesthetically pleasing play could you come up with on 3rd and 1? That looks, I mean,
see, this goes back to the XFL stuff. Like, are we just going to get to the point to where, okay, now if on 4th downs, you have to throw it, you have to run this play, no more quarterback sneaks?
Yeah, see, that's
they're going to start outlawing those things.
You can't do it, man. You got to leave a quarterback sneak in. That's part of the deal. And you brought it up with Jalen Hurts. It's a specific kind of quarterback sneak. Why? Because he is that dude in the video squatting all that weight. He's that guy. Jalen Hurts can run with the football in a physical way that other guys can't. That's an advantage they have. Keep them from 3rd and 1. I completely agree with you. They screwed it up in the Super Bowl. If they convert that 3rd and 1, they probably win the damn game.
Yeah. Or if old boy doesn't jump off sides and then Jalen Hurts fumbles.
That's what I'm saying. That play.
Yeah.
That's the one. That 3rd and 1. If they convert it and go on to make it 21-7, I may be having to live with another Eagles Super Bowl right now. But, it didn't happen. And guess what? They're the ones that screwed it up. It happened. The play, occurred. I never would have thought to change that. That makes no sense to me. So let us know what you think. Specs text line 337-3776. I love details. We were just discussing XFL rules that I think could translate to the NFL. They got to leave this alone. Somebody just texted, strength is a skill.
Duh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strength is the skill on that play.
That's a great point.
Can't we all appreciate that on some level? I know a lot of people hate Tom Brady, but Tom Brady almost perfected the quarterback sneak during his career.
He was good at it.
You couldn't stop him. When I was young, the play I loved that was a close range play was first it would be Walter Payton over the top from the 1-yard line. And, yeah, there's some artistry to that, but that was great. Another guy I loved was Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen inside the 5 with Kansas City. Hand him the ball. He never failed to score. I swear to you. He could get thin, get skinny, and get through that hole, and it would drive the opponents insane. That's a little bitty power skill play. That's part of it.
The Eagles arguably has the best offensive line in the league, so there goes the strength factor.
Right.
And then Jalen Hurts might be the strongest quarterback in the league, especially lower body, and he's using that to his advantage. So is the offensive line. Simple. Like, this is really the only team that did it on a consistent basis where nobody stopped it. And the fact that they got to the Super Bowl, if they didn't get to the Super Bowl, nobody'd be looking at it.
No, you're right. You're right.
If the Eagles didn't have success like they did this season, being one of the best running offenses that we've seen the last decade with their quarterback at the helm, then NFL wouldn't even be looking at this. So, yeah, if I'm Nick Sirianni, if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles organization, I'm a little pissed.
Yeah, I would be too. Yeah, no, they're picking on him. I don't understand why they would need to get into that. We got another NFL deal to hit here in a second. I want to remind you, coming up at 1:30 in your Flex 30 segment, you're going to hear from 2 local football stars that are headed to prestigious colleges. They were on the Wednesday Night Flex show. We grabbed some of those clips. We'll get you that at 1:30. Also, Zay's next TV game in basketball. He knows that, and there may be another one coming up in the playoffs, so we'll get you updated there. But, Zay, we also need to update everybody on maybe my favorite football player right now, but my least favorite social media person right now. Micah Parsons can't stop. He just loves being on social media. He loves making little comments. This one came from Twitter. Is that correct?
That's right.
So the other day it was Calais Campbell says, I want to go to Super Bowl 58. And Micah Parsons says, well, you need to put a star on your helmet there. And people commented on that. Did he go too far? And were you being too sensitive if you thought he was going too far? But this one is a little bit different from Micah Parsons, but I think it does bring jokes pretty easily. So let's tell everybody, what did he tweet?
Yeah, Micah Parsons said on Twitter, which I just retweeted it from my Twitter at @ain'tthat_Zay, I want a ring so bad, my girl can't get one until I get one. Then he had a couple of emojis, crying, laughing emoji, and yeah, so if I'm his girl, I don't think Micah's going to I'm not going to let Micah suck my toes later. I know that.
All right. And in less than 3 seconds, what was my response? As a Cowboys fan.
It might take a minute.
Come on, man.
It might take a minute.
Such an easy joke. Oh, she's going to be waiting a while. Micah, take your phone and put it in a bag. Put that bag in the safe at the hotel, and then go to the beach. Calm down. Relax. Please stay away from social media for a while. Please, 11. Go relax.
Well, maybe this is just
drink something. Drink your favorite drink, please.
Well, maybe this is just a step to the breakup. Like, Micah realizes, you know what, this ain't working out. He's not good with his words, obviously. So maybe he could just say, I'm going to take a step to being passive-aggressive, and maybe she'll get the signs of, wow, the Cowboys haven't won since when? Who's their owner/GM? Oh, right. I might be waiting for the rest of my life.
Right. And if his answer to me is, come on, Chad, you're being too sensitive, it was a joke, I would tell him, in your position with this football team in this particular social media world, you don't get to make that joke. Sorry.
But you heard.
You don't.
You heard Justin Wells with us a couple days ago. They're close. They're close.
I know he believes that.
Micah, he definitely believes it.
Even if Micah believed it and he's right, just work. Just work. I mean, you consider, having not been to the championship game in as long as they have, you can talk to me about how close they might have been to that game. You haven't been to that game. And you're talking about, I want a ring so bad. My girl doesn't get a ring till I do. Dude, seriously? Really?
Yeah, who's taking snaps next year?
All right.
Micah?
Right.
Oh, it's that same number 4.
Well, it's not just that. It's everything around number 4. What's the offense? Same head coach? Yes, but different offensive coordinator. calling plays, different quarterbacks coach, different running backs coach. Is the running back room going to be the same? I don't know. Are they going to keep Pollard? I'm not sure. Are they going to keep Zeke? I don't know. What about that offensive line? McGovern is a free agent. Can they keep him? Not sure. Probably not. What about Steele? Is he even going to be there? I don't even know. Tyron Smith, he's 86 years old. Parts of him are 95. I mean, what assurance do you have other than Dan Quinn's coming back and you think your defense is going to be pretty good? All right. Okay. That is not enough to say, I need a ring, man. My girl doesn't get a ring till I do. Dude, please go on vacation. Please.
Yo, Micah, whoever your girl is, if she's listening, she probably is not. Maybe, girl, you need to move on. Because either your man
that might be true. You may be speaking the truth there.
Yeah.
That's just silliness. Any man or woman that gives you a weird line like that about the ring and you want to wait and you don't do this, whatever, that was one of the weird little details that I would still ask. Forget about the almost criminal part of it. The weirdest thing to me about that Chris Beard story from a relationship standpoint was together for 9 years, engaged for 6. And I'm like, huh?
It's not good.
That's weird math.
It's not good.
That is weird math. If you've been engaged for 6 years, there better be a good reason why.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't make any sense.
Either baby girl needs to break up with him or baby girl needs to get a better pedicure. Because them feet ain't where Micah needs to be.
Or maybe she's not paying enough for a haircut. Maybe they need to check in with Jalen Rose.
Maybe so.
See what's going on. That's another thing I'd like to know. We have not heard from any of the folks in this group today, Zay. I want to know, in 2023, what are black women paying for the hair?
Yo, it's pricey.
What are you paying, ladies? We know we have all folks from all walks of life. We're asking you for gender and race today because we need to know kind of where it is. We've heard from black men, Hispanic men, white men. We've heard from a lot of guys. We have a lot of guys listening. So guys, let us know if you're with a black woman and you happen to know what she's paying. I want to know because I watched the documentary years ago that Chris Rock did.
Good hair?
Yeah, that's very
good.
Very informative.
Right.
Very
yeah,
informative.
For sure.
It's a world I didn't know a lot about. I have not dated black women. I've had friends and still do that are black women, but I've never had long drawn out conversations of, hey, what's going on with the hair and what are you paying? And I'm hearing all this stuff and the complexity of it and how long it takes. You're going in for 3, 4, 5 hours at a clip.
Yeah, it's an event.
What are you paying, ladies? I want to know. All right, so we talked about that because Jalen Rose says $100 minimum for a haircut in 2023. Now, that is crazy. What's not crazy is, hopefully, the rest of the show. Well, it'll be a little crazy. Zay's got Where We At in Society coming up at 1:45. The Flex segment is next. You'll hear from 2 of our local stars that are headed off to big-time schools. We'll give them their love and tell you about Zay's next TV basketball game. Stay with us. It's The Horn. All right, this is Chad. Let's talk Underdog Fantasy. I'm going to pull it up on my phone as I'm talking to you about it because it's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. There's all kinds of ways for you to get involved with Underdog Fantasy. Yes, the NFL season is over, but you've got NBA games already cranked up and ready to go. Once we get past All-Star Weekend, you get back into those. College basketball, if you want to put those together. Major League Baseball's coming. Pick'em games are so easy to do. You pick whether your favorite player is going to have a higher or lower stat total in the game for your chance to win big. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. You get them all right, and you win. You can also do the rivals picks, which pits 2 players against each other for different stats or yardage, whatever it is there, or particular stats in a game. You can also look at the pick insurance option that increases your chance to win. Sign up today with the promo code HORN. Get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with my promo referral code HORN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Must be 18 or over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. It's the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. It's Underdog Fantasy. Wow. Sounds like a pre-metal ballad here. Sounds like a straight-up rock ballad. Ooh. Whoa. Okay. Whew. Oh, wow. We got some harmonizing going on. Man. Sticks. I don't know.
No.
Who you got?
The team that plays Baylor tomorrow.
Kansas. Oh, okay, I hear. Okay, Kansas. What's the song called?
Play the game tonight.
Play the game tonight. All right, there you go. My apologies, Kansas fans. Not the sports version, but the musical version. I don't care if Kansas sports fans.
Yo, it's weird. On the Best of Kansas, I don't know if this is the album cover or not, but the artwork, it's a man in a tux, and the man looks exactly like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Really? Bearded up?
Yes, bearded up.
But the beard's taken care of?
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
It's very odd.
Kansas, Scandal, and Ozzy have been on the show today already. We'll see where Zay goes from there. We're glad you're with us on a Friday, headed into a big sports weekend. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube page at The Horn Austin. We thank you for getting us up over 700 subscribers. Let me do a check. 725 is still that number. If you want to go subscribe, we do appreciate it. Full shows, other videos, shorter videos. Me talking XFL, I think, is up there. Zay's reaction to the Super Bowl, Harge's reaction to the Super Bowl. We got a lot of different stuff up there if you want to go check it out. All right, let's get into the flex segment here. You're going to hear from two local stars that are headed to some pretty big-time places.
Flex ATX for the best high school sports coverage. Listen to The Horn and go to FLXATX.com. Flex 30 is brought to you by Brain Vault. Brain Vault is a revolutionary and patented mouthguard that has been proven to help reduce the risk of concussion. Visit BrainVault.com and join the movement.
FLXATX.com. If you go there, you can check out the entire Wednesday Night Flex show. They've got it podcasted up there. You can go to the YouTube page if you want to see Zach and Cameron as they were doing the show on Wednesday night. Yesterday, we played you a little bit from Coach Salazar. They did talk to the Westlake head coach. If you're a Westlake fan, you're going to want to go hear all of that. They also spoke to a couple of players in the 23 class that are now moving on to their college experience. The first one you'll hear from here is Brody Bueno, one of the great names in this area. He was a stud linebacker from Hutto for what seemed like a long time. Zach said it feels like he's been there 5-6 years, but he has been a mainstay there for a while. So they got him on the show this week and talked to him about that father-son thing, because his dad is a big part of helping him and coaching him throughout his career, like a lot of guys. So Zach asked him about his dad.
What kind of role did your dad play in this experience for you?
Well, my dad was my coach all the way from Kiwi, 6 years old, Little League, to right up until middle school and high school. And I guess he continued in 7-on-7, so it was a huge part of how I grew up. He really molded me into the player that I am today. If he had it his way, I'd still be a quarterback like in middle school. He always thought I would be, but I mean, he's been super supportive. He's always been there to help me out, like making my decision on where to go to college, and every step of the way he's been there. And I don't think I could have done it without him.
Don't make me cry, Brody Bueno. Don't you do it. I've met Mr. and Mrs. Bueno. They came out to Pluckers to one of our events, Zay, around the All Flex team. You can feel that conversation as well as anybody, because you were a high school athlete playing for your dad, and you know how special that relationship can be.
Yeah, it is. It's something that you definitely cherish when you're playing, but I think Brody's really going to cherish it when he becomes an adult and realizes some of those things that he didn't notice as a kid because you're going through it and you're a naive teenager, and there's some things that you just feel like you know it all, and like, oh, dad, like I'm over that parenting stuff. I'm not a little kid anymore. And you realize, oh man, Pops was right. Even when I was 18, hell, my Pops is still parenting me in ways that I still need and use. So yeah, I liked hearing that from Brody, and he's definitely going to have a solid college career too.
Yeah, and by the way, he's going to Air Force. So thank you for your service, Mr. Bueno. Also, go back and listen to that full interview. Brody Bueno talks about the conversation he had with some Air Force folks, including how much money he's going to make out of college. You go listen to that one. Go ahead. Thank you for your service, and shout out to Air Force. That's obviously a big deal for that family to get the education paid for at a place like that, to serve his country, and then set himself up for a successful situation afterwards. So Brody was on the show. Definitely check out that full interview, especially if you love your Hutto Hippos. They also talked to one of my favorite receivers in the area over the last year, and that was Garen Duncan, the Dripping Springs receiver. Not only Austin Novosad, but those receivers he had, Cook and Duncan and the guys, really were guys we talked about through the season. So I thought we'd throw in a little bit. Zach did ask him a question about Novosad. He was looking for something weird, something unique about Austin Novosad. Listen to what Garen Duncan comes up with.
Like a little known fact about him, or like a little quirky thing about Austin that maybe not a lot of people know.
I don't even know where to start. I got a lot because, I've been with him since kindergarten. He's been my best friend. But I think he talks about this sometimes, but I'm going to kind of burst his bubble a little bit. He talks about how amazing he is at cornhole. He always fails to mention is that he just hasn't beaten me yet. I'm his kryptonite in cornhole. He's good, and when we team up, no one can beat us, but he won't beat me.
I'm his kryptonite at cornhole. Well done, Garen Duncan. I was going to put a clip in of him talking about his college choice, but I kind of enjoyed that one a little bit more. Garen Duncan wore number 8 for Dripping Springs, and they've got a great still shot of him on Flex ATX today. They had a playoff game, Zay, where they lit somebody up. I can't remember who they were playing. They busted somebody up good, and he's caught, I think, 4 touchdowns, and they have a shot of him with the 4. He's counting 1, 2, 3, 4.
I remember that.
You remember that one?
Uh-huh.
That was a great video that the Flex crew was able to grab. So shout out to Garen Duncan. He is going to Yale.
Smart boy.
You want to talk about a serious education that you're getting paid for there. Zay, I looked it up today. The graduation rate at Yale, 97%.
That's incredible.
The acceptance rate, 5%.
Wow.
Think about that. So he talked about in the interview, again, go listen to the full interview, flexatx.com or the YouTube page. He talked about different schools he was looking at, thought about going wherever Austin Novosad went. Again, they've been best friends since kindergarten. You could understand it. But the more he talked to different people, and once he visited Yale, something about that Ivy League education really started to mean something to him, and he learned about the culture at Yale and all that. I went to high school with a guy a year older than me. Shout out, Andy Moya was his name, and he went to Yale, and I remember how proud everybody was. I can see him in Yale gear, and everyone was just in awe of the fact of, oh my God, he's going to Yale. Anytime somebody from like Waxahachie ended up at an Ivy League school,
right,
it was just a little different check mark. One of the guys on our state championship team, shout out Isaiah Moreland III, he went to Brown. And as soon as you heard that, you're like, oh, okay, all right. And there were some Cornell guys that my dad taught and stuff like that. But obviously, best of luck to Garen going up to Yale, up to Connecticut, to Yale, and getting just a top-notch education there, and hopefully playing some good football. If he keeps those hands the way they are, keeps running those routes like that, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll be talking about Garen Duncan in a few years around combine time, trying to get an opportunity.
Yeah, that Dripping Springs team this past year, they were special, and I know they still feel the loss from that just tough one against Vandergrift.
Yep.
Who knows what happened on the goal line there that they lost the ball. Hell of a game. But I like Garen sticking to his country Dripping Springs roots. Like when you're talking about cornhole and stuff, like you're representing for real.
You could tell it mattered to him.
Oh,
didn't
it's serious
He's
up
like,
there.
When we team up, nobody can beat us, but he can't beat me.
Oh, that's so amazingly country. I respect that for real.
That is awesome. That is awesome. All right, so shout out to the Flex crew. Great interviews this week. Wednesday night Flex, Wednesdays at 7. Zay, also, let's prepare him for next week. So it starts, you guys are Monday night playoff game, correct? You and Roger Wallace, KBVO?
That's right. Monday night, 7 o'clock, Pflugerville High School, Vandergrift versus Beulah Johnson. First place team in 26-6A versus the fourth place team in 25-6A. That's how they do it, just like in football. So, yeah, it should be a good one. Obviously, Buda Johnson will be the favorite there.
Mhm.
The thing with them is, a couple of weeks ago, Chad, when me and Roger had Buda Johnson against Westlake, where Westlake came out victorious, the leading scorer for Johnson, Quentin Hairston, he got injured in that game, and I don't think he's played in a game since.
And they won a game without him,
They
didn't they?
beat Lake Travis without him,
Yeah.
and then they went ahead and I think beat Del Valle to secure the first spot in district championship.
Okay.
So will he be healthy by then? Who knows? I think it was very smart for Coach Kennison over there to keep him out, especially since they won those games without him.
Sure.
That kind of goes to his coaching abilities and what they did. But Vandegrift, they're a tough, scrappy team. It's going to be a dogfight no matter what. I'm excited.
And then also, we've mentioned this, but if you want a qualification game, you got one tonight. Anderson and Dripping Springs have to play an additional game to figure out who's in the playoffs, and it's tonight at 7 o'clock over at Westlake, right over here in our area. And as you've talked about, Zay, the winner of that game just gets a huge gift.
Yep. I played the Stony Point Tigers that have lost one game this year.
That's a nasty good group now.
This year.
They're really, really good. So they'll find out their opponent tonight, Anderson and Dripping Springs. That's over at Westlake. And then again, Monday, we'll remind you again, Monday, Buda Johnson and Vandegrift. Zay's going to be calling that game with Roger Wallace on KBVO, so watch it on TV, or get out to Pflugerville High and check it out. Flex segment every day at 1:30 for us. Where are we at in society coming up with Isaiah Collier? That is coming up. Also at 2 o'clock, we'll check it. I still haven't gotten back. I think Jeff Ketchum might have lost my phone number. I'm just going to let you know. Jeff Ketchum may be ghosting me. You think there's a chance of that?
Nah, you and Catch go way back.
Yeah, no, it just got lost. Those texts get lost. When he doesn't get you back in 15 minutes, you just never know.
Orange
check
Bloods
in.
is a juggernaut.
Orange Blood's always going crazy. So we'll see if we can catch up with Catch and talk some Longhorn stuff and other things at 2:05. If not, we'll get back into all these other football stories today, including that rule change the NFL may be looking at. We'll see what Zay wants to talk about next. Stay with us. It's The Horn. Contrary to popular opinion, this band never did any drugs.
Oh,
That's not
man.
true. That's not true. That's not true.
Yo, Jim was out of control.
This band did all the drugs. So this is obviously the Doors, if you know your old school 60s rock. And this is L.A. Woman?
That's right.
Yeah. It is L.A. Woman. Oh, Jim Morrison and the Doors. Good grief. The Doors, Kansas, Scandal, Ozzy. Another one of those bands, the Doors, man. Even if you weren't there, it takes you there. Like, I didn't live in the 60s, but this takes you right there.
Yeah.
And they're so great. If you ever get to see a documentary, a story, heck, even the Val Kilmer movie's decent. Anything about the Doors, go check them out. They were an awesome band.
Yeah, wasn't Kilmer Jim Morrison?
Yeah, he was good.
He was good.
They did a good spacey, dreamy movie out of it too.
Right.
Oh my God, half that movie's a drug-induced, trip or whatever. He was great as Jim Morrison. All right, lots of good music on the show as always. Thanks to Zay. We hope you are having a good Friday. We are talking about the price of haircuts today because of Jalen Rose. He says $100 minimum. Zay, we've been asking about. I asked earlier in the hour about the black ladies out there and what they're paying for their hair. Here's a text we got. Hey, Chad, as a brother, first of all, my wife who is black does not pay to get her hair done. I do. I pay for her hair, nails, and feet. It costs me damn near $300 every 2 weeks.
Ooh!
But it's worth it.
Okay, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
He
bro.
says it's worth it.
I feel you, dog.
$300 every
man.
2 weeks. We can all do that math. That's silly. Woo! Man, that's a lot. That is crazy.
Yo, I'm telling you, the way I saw Lauren London and them hairstyles switch up in every scene, Chad, the hair was different.
That's crazy.
And she was in the movie the whole entire time.
I've talked
looking as fine as I don't know what.
I've talked to you about it on ESPN. For a while there, I swear, every single day, Malika Andrews' hair was different.
Man.
Every day it was something different. And it looked like it took work every day.
Oh, yeah.
None of it looked simple. Just so much work going on there. That is crazy. By the way, I'm just going to throw out an idea. If you are out there running a barber shop or whatever, for that world where you're having to redo and keep things straight, keep things tight, we're in a world of subscription services. I think a subscription service might be something to look into. You pay a flat amount, and it gets you certain things, a little perk plan, little membership
That's
plan.
not bad. That's not a bad idea.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to go back and get stuff cleaned up. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Monthly charge, and then figure out how to do that. Just an idea. All right, but wow, upwards of $300. That is crazy. All right. There is a lot of stuff out there. We'll get back into some NFL discussion, football discussion. Going to try to run down Jeff Ketchum, talk some Longhorn stuff. There's a lot of Longhorn stuff out there as baseball's about to start. Basketball against OU. And yes, we're about a week away from finding out that Texas is, in fact, going to the SEC in 2024. All that's out there. The Chris Beard updates out there as well at the end of this week. We'll get back to that stuff. Right now, though, let's see what Zay wants to get into. Where are we at in society? Here we go.
Where are we at in society today?
All right, Zay, you already sent me the Micah Parsons looking for a ring. Where else are we going to go?
Yeah, I heard B&E talking about it this morning, but we could talk about it ourselves. Tiger Woods slips Justin Thomas a tampon. After out-driving him at the Genesis Open.
Wow. Oh, my
In
goodness.
2023.
In 2023. Okay. All right.
I mean, I think it's funny. I know a lot of people who don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's man, this is interesting. All right. So let's break this one down a little bit. I think we all understand the joke that's being made there.
Yeah.
And then the question is in 2023, does this rise to the level of insensitivity? I guess gender bashing here? Is that what we're going to? Is this making fun of all women? Is that what the discussion is?
I mean, it's basically saying what my man Ham said on The Sandlot. You play ball like a girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Ladies, let us know. If you're a female golfer especially, Is this something like where I don't know where that discussion sits right now. If you go out, especially if you go out and play golf, both genders playing golf at the same time, is that the kind of joke that gets made? I don't know.
Well, if I'm Justin Thomas and I get outdriven by arguably the greatest golfer to ever pick up a club, and he slips me a tampon, I'm throwing it on the ground and saying, all right, whatever. I know you're trying to be funny, but you're the greatest of all time. Give me a break. I know you're older now, and you might have a little gimp leg, but you're still the GOAT. Like, let's give yourself a little bit more respect. And also women.
Yeah, somebody texted hell no right away for that one. Yeah, that's tough. It's tough, man. I've never been one for the over-the-top locker room stuff, machismo stuff like that. I've never really been to that level. If I'm going to make fun of you for the way you're playing, I've never been one to go there. I've never been one to go to the you play like a girl, you throw like a girl, anything like that. This says don't make fun of the ladies. All men will pay the price. I hadn't really thought of it that way. Haven't thought of it that way. This says I giggled at the Tiger thing, but I know I'm not supposed to. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Exactly. I do. That's sort of the reaction, I guess, that I had to it. That it's a little bit.
It's childish.
Yes, it is definitely childish, but it's also, it's one of those moments that it's one of those weird moments where you have Tiger's always been the one that he was ripped early in his career for being too robotic, for not being emotional. And now we're watching him having fun with the guys. They're glad he's back out there. They look up to him. By the way, they also know he brings the people. Are you watching these galleries?
Yeah, he's the reason why y'all getting all that paper y'all getting.
It's just incredible. So, I don't know. I'll be interested to see now. This is 2023 stuff. Now, will Tiger and Justin have to answer questions? Will the media ask them about it after the round today? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because we have to react to everything, Zay. Nothing can just sit out there. It must have a reaction. We have to have a press release.
Yeah, especially if you're somebody that's pro live golf and you want to see that succeed,
right,
even though they just threw down $1 billion and got no revenue from it. They're going to want to say, oh, yeah, the greatest golfer of all time that's represented PGA. Look how he treats women. Look how he thinks. He just thinks he can give a tampon to anybody and thinks it's funny. He's disgracing all women, especially women that play golf. So, yeah, I can see it being flipped. Hell yeah, I can see it being flipped. Do I think it's hilarious and don't really care? Yeah.
Somebody said Tiger once did that to his ex-wife. We all know what happened next.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God. It says, as great as he is in the 2 spot to true golfers. Jack is still the major record. Okay. Yeah, that's true. It says, I agree it's funny, but I can't say it out loud anymore. Well, now, okay, I'll go to a technical explanation. Statistically speaking, when you go out on a golf course, a man is going to outdrive a woman from the same tee box. Statistically speaking. So that is the comment he's making after 2 drives have been made. Correct? It wasn't an overall. It wasn't Tiger saying to Justin Thomas, I don't respect women. That's not what he was saying.
Right.
But how many guys have walked off the tee after having outdriven their buddy and made some reference to, yo, did you hit that from the ladies' tees or what? I thought you could hit this. I thought you could hit that. Statistically speaking,
yeah,
women drive less distance than men do. That's why there are women's tees in a different spot. Just trying to point out the basic stuff. Because if that's where he's going, could we live with that in 2023, or does he have to have a press conference?
No. He has to have a press conference because ignorant folks are going to think, damn you, Tiger, for saying that.
Oh, my God.
Justin Thomas, who didn't hit a good shot, is going to need to stop his flow.
Zay, the most important quote. Oh, I'm just going to take a sip of water on that one. That was well done. That was well done. I didn't even see you cooking anything up, and then you just slapped it on the griddle.
Oh, man.
That was well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Only 2 questions.
Here all night.
Only 2 questions matter for me now. What does Elin think? Is she going to have a comment? What about Lindsey Vaughn? Did Lindsey see this?
They still in the picture?
No, but
Is Tiger still paying child support? I mean, little Tiger looks like a grown-ass man now. Talk about
he
hitting
does.
puberty.
Yeah, that's true.
They still paying child support for that?
Oh, yeah, they're still in child support land, I think.
Okay.
Because what's his name? Sam is like, no, Sam's the girl. Sam's the girl, and is that right?
How many you got?
Do I have those right? It's two. It's a girl and a boy. Isn't
Both with Eden?
Yeah, with Elon.
Elon.
Isn't the girl Sam and the boy is some other, I can't think of the name.
I can't think of the boy's
Yeah,
name
anyway.
either.
But I think they're under 18.
Okay.
I think they are. I think that's right.
Yeah, Tiger deserves to pay the child support the way he was wilding.
Oh,
he ain't getting out of that.
Oh my God! I just as annoying as it'll get, I do love a good car wreck every once in a while, and this is what this is about to be. Is this going to stop on a Friday at Riviera, or is it going to continue? I don't know.
Is that a double entendre that you just about? Car wreck, Tiger Woods?
Oh, I
situation?
didn't even mean to do that.
Wow. Look at you.
No, I did not mean to do that.
You're trying to stop it. There it is again.
I did do that, yeah. This is the tournament, you remember. You realize that?
Right.
This is like what would that be, 2 years ago that happened? Was that a 21 wreck?
That feels right.
Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
God, yeah, this was the tournament. Every time he shows up to this Genesis tournament, hopefully he gets to keep playing it. He's the host. And that's the other thing. It's his tournament. So he's got to do certain events around this tournament as the host.
Wow.
And then they're going to ask about how things are going.
The son's Charlie. Sam's
Charlie,
the girl. Son's
thank
Charlie,
you,
yeah.
Charlie. I couldn't remember his
Yo,
name.
Charlie last time I saw Charlie, he looked like a grown-ass man.
Please tell me there's going to be some ballsy media member in the back of the room right at the end of all the golf questions. Hey, yeah, Tiger, golf beat, whatever the heck you call it. You handed Justin Thomas a tampon. Your thoughts? Do you hate women? Your thoughts?
Do you hate women?
You know, just try to trap him into something.
Yeah, I just thought it was that time of the month for Justin.
Oh, my Lord. That is unbelievable. All right. We'll keep our eyes on that story. And in case you didn't see it, we just retweeted that one in case you want to see those. The evidence is there. It's pretty clear. There's no way to misconstrue what you're seeing there. I'm at C Hastings 1049 on Twitter. Zay is at ain't_that_Zay. The station is at The Horn ATX. And if you want to find Tiger Woods on Twitter, you can do that yourself. I'm sure you've already done it. 2 o'clock hour is coming up. We'll see if we can catch up with Jeff Ketchum of Orange Bloods, talking some Longhorn stuff. NFL may want to change a rule. And we've got February 17th and 18th in Why Today Matters. Some big birthdays, including possibly the greatest professional football player that ever lived. Is it an argument? We'll talk about it on The Horn. Ooh, that's a nice beat. Hour number 3 on a Friday. Chad and Zay with you. Zay's always got a beat for you at the beginning of the 3rd hour. Where we going, Zay?
Going to New Orleans. Manny Fresh beat. The artist, Juvenile.
Okay.
1998, 1999, 400 degrees. Juvenile couldn't have been hotter back then.
Wait, the name of the song is 400 Degrees?
Yes.
That's a great title.
Yeah,
That's
name
great.
of the song and album. On that album, classics like Huh and Back That Ass Up.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Juvenile. There's a lot of respect for him in the business, I sense.
Ton of respect.
Yeah.
Ton of respect.
And Juvenile has been associated with somebody else famous. Am I correct?
Lil Wayne.
Oh, no. I meant like in a relationship.
In a relationship.
Has Juvenile dated or been married to anybody famous?
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. All right, I'm thinking of somebody different. Juvenile and the beat getting us started this hour. Chad and Zay with you. We got a lot of got basketball and football, the two main things, but you're mixing in a little Tiger Woods, especially after today on the course. Oh, man, they've got cameras everywhere. Let's get into a lot of different things. On the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline, our weekly visit with Jeff Ketchum, always fun, and I got a feeling like it's going to be even more fun this week. Jeff Ketchum, orangebloods.com, at GKCatch on Twitter. Catch, what's up, man?
Happy almost 1 week anniversary of the Philadelphia Eagles losing the Super Bowl.
Hey, that's right. You're damn right you got to bring that up. How satisfying was it for you, Catch, as a Cowboys fan? I've been squawking about it all week. The air just smelled a little cleaner to me. The Eagles still only have one, and their record is now 1-3 in the big game. Your thoughts?
I have, in my mind, never felt more like a proud Aggie in enjoying someone else's success that has actually nothing to do with me more than I did on Sunday. I was borderline giddy at the end of that game. So it occurred to me, like, that is, when I was 7 years old, my first football team was the Aggies. It's the most I've felt like an Aggie since I was 7, 8, and 9 years old in my Pop Warner League in Waco, Texas.
Yeah, see, y'all like to call that being an Aggie. We just call it looking for that silver lining, man. Sometimes you gotta find the silver lining. You're not happy about the whole situation, but you just find the part of it that makes you smile. That's what you got to do.
I'm alarmed by how good that felt.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what we've got now, though, as Cowboys fans. It's that you and I get to sit back and do the whoo thing twice for the Eagles and twice for the Niners, yet we haven't watched the Cowboys get close. That's where we live right now.
God bless the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean,
yes.
I would not have probably taken this phone call today had it gone the other way around. So
I know.
It was a life-changing event.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Jeff, because a lot of mock drafts are coming out nowadays, and some has Bijan Robinson maybe going to Philly. How would that make you feel then?
It's not going to happen because the Eagles draft smarter than that. No offense to Bijan. I mean, we all love Bijan, but there is a world out there that has acknowledged that taking running backs in the first round of the draft isn't the wisest football move to make. And, they've got number 10. They'll probably take a big, badass defensive lineman because that's how they've built their team. And I don't know if they're going to move heaven and earth to get to Bijan. I think there will be a lot of teams 20 through 30 that can talk themselves into what Bijan Robinson could do for them, even if, again, it doesn't make – the Philadelphia Eagles didn't get to the Super Bowl because they had a bunch of running backs that they had drafted really early on. They went to the Super Bowl in part because they were able to spend their money elsewhere. Bijan is that really pretty shiny thing. But, it has been proven that putting all of your money in the running back position isn't the best thing in the world. And I think the thing that you worry about with someone like Bijan is that he's so good you're going to have to give him a second contract because you can't let that guy just leave your team. And then what does it mean? So I'm not real worried about the Eagles doing that. I think there will be other teams that. So I'm not going to entertain your question because I refuse to acknowledge that it truly exists as a possibility.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Plus, the Eagles don't seem to want to beat anybody with shiny. They want to beat you with blunt instruments, and that's what they did almost to a title this year. Jeff Ketchum, Orange Bloods.
I expect them to take two big fat dudes.
Yeah, right.
And and then they'll just keep hurting quarterbacks all throughout the next few years.
Correct. That is exactly what I'm expecting as well. Speaking of what we're expecting, Ketch, give me a thought on Longhorn baseball. They're about to get started with 3 SEC opponents. I'm interested that they've got a freshman from Waxahachie that's apparently going to be the first baseman this year. What is standing out to you about David Pierce's team? What do you want to find out this weekend?
If they're any good? I mean, it's weird because some people don't have the Longhorns in the top 25. This is thought to be a bit of a rebuilding year, and I've seen Texas baseball over the years take rebuilding years and go to Omaha, and I've seen the opposite of that. Not very often, but occasionally it has happened. It will be strange to watch Texas baseball without Ivan Melendez. It feels like last year he just symbolized the team in general, and I felt like I tuned into Texas baseball just to watch him bat. So entirely different team, a bunch of new faces, expectations always high around Austin, but around the country, not so much for this Texas baseball team. So in this opening weekend, I will draw no conclusions. I'm just curious of opening impressions for a season that a lot of people who follow Texas baseball just aren't quite sure what they've got on their hands.
Catch, let's go to the hardwood a little bit. We know the Horns lost a tough one on Big Monday against Texas Tech. And, even though Texas Tech is at the bottom of the Big 12, it's still a pretty good team, pretty good Mark Adams ball club. Now they got OU tomorrow, and OU being a couple of good teams as of late. We know they beat Alabama and they beat Kansas State, but you see Purdue go down last night, and you see Alabama go down the other day. There's no one team in all of college basketball that sticks out that you could say, okay, they're going to have a one-way ticket to Houston because they're that dominant, which as a Texas fan, it has to be a little bit of optimism there, knowing that, hey, even though Texas looked bad on Monday, they could still play with anybody in the country.
Yeah, and I think that as we get ready to go into the tournament, this will be there's some years where you feel like all the number one seeds when you're filling out your bracket are going to go in, or you have to talk yourself into picking somebody other than a first, second, or third seed. This college basketball season it's hard to find a team that I think can win 6 consecutive games against really high-level competition. So it will make for a fantastic free-for-all. It also means that if you're Texas, if you can get hot, there's no reason why this team can't win have some success in the tournament. I mean, I can talk myself into if they have a bad night and they play the wrong team, that they can lose, but they're good enough. They've got enough experience. We just don't talk enough about how experienced this team is. They've got players who are like 46 years old on this team. And it means a lot in college basketball. And I think that, enjoy this ride because I think this team is fully capable of doing just about anything. Tomorrow is a take care of your business, win by any means necessary type of game. You need to win your home games. Oklahoma would be a bad loss at this point in the season. They've got 5 games to go, and it is a Texas-Kansas Baylor battle for Big 12 supremacy in terms of winning the regular season title. Now, we know regular season titles in college basketball don't mean a lot. I mean, they just don't. We move right on to the tournament, and then what happens next is kind of the thing that they're only slightly more valuable than conference tournament titles, as Shaka Smart. But it's there for the taking. This Texas basketball program has not won enough conference championships in general. They've got a chance. Both, what's interesting is with 5 games to go, Baylor, Kansas, and Texas have fairly similar schedules. They all have to play each other tomorrow, I think if Texas can handle its business, suddenly you turn your attention to Baylor and Kansas, and the loser of that game with 4 games to go has got some work to do. I think the winner of that game emerges as obviously, the math is the math. It becomes the most serious contender to Texas for winning the Big 12 championship. It's hard not to look at the season finale where Texas plays Kansas and not think that at the very least there's a share of the conference championship that will be on the line. So all Texas needs to do tomorrow, just win. Just handle your business. Come out, be grown-ups. You're experienced. You got a bunch of old dudes that are really good. Let them handle their business. Let Baylor and Kansas beat each other up. You will have your opportunity to take a beating or give a beating against one of these two teams in the coming 4 games that follow. But it's a fun end to the Big 12. In a year when the Big 12 has been blood and guts, and on any given day, any of these teams can beat the other team, it's fun now that there are 5 games left, and I think there are 3 teams that will have high expectations going into the tournament that are all fighting for a regular season championship. This has a chance to be the kind of iron sharpens iron motif that we can get to the tournament, and if one of these 3 teams makes a real big run, we will look back at this final stretch and go, this is part of what made this team as tough as it is. I think it's an opportunity for Texas in a season defined by the uncomfortable circumstances that are taking place. You cannot put enough value on the opportunity that's in front of this team if they can grab it and just run with it.
Talking with Jeff Ketchum, orangebloods.com. All right, Ketch, let me give you a little salacious curveball here because I know you can handle it. So this Tiger Woods story that developed during the show is truly bizarre. I'll set it up for those that haven't heard it. Tiger and Justin Thomas are playing today. Tiger outdrives him on a hole and hands him something as they are walking up the fairway. It is very clear from cameras that caught it that what he handed him is a tampon. So, in 2023, A, can sports fans watch this and actually find it funny? And B, will these guys have to have a press conference about it?
I think this is where we need to have a little bit of perspective. Had he handed him $20, the outrage would be so much worse, right? If the idea was these guys were gambling, you can't have that. You can't have these. I thought at first Tiger handed him $20.
Okay.
Or like some sort of dollar bill. And I thought originally the story was going to be we clutch our pearls at the idea that these guys are gambling and,
right.
and exchanging dollars in the middle of a pro golf tournament. Instead, it's a tampon. And look, if we can't laugh at a tampon, then we've lost our senses, like our ability to just laugh at things goes out the window. I don't know anybody who's offended by this, in part because I don't know I don't know other than, the tamponness of it all. I don't know what the implication is that would make us upset in a way where there would need to be a press conference. So it's arbitrarily a really weird thing to, Chad, have you ever handed another man a tampon under any circumstances?
Nope. I have not.
No, neither have I.
I have not. I also like
there's no real reason.
Yeah, I also love the text we got of what we need to ask is why is Tiger carrying tampons around in his golf bag? Like, is it for this reason?
I want to know what Justin Thomas was going to give him had Tiger not outdriven him and given him a tampon. Where do the stakes go from here?
I'm guessing on that side of it would be like sports cream, icy hot, old man joke, right?
Yeah, Ben Gay.
Ben Gay, an old man joke going the other way. That's what I would assume.
Again, it's just weird. I don't know the relationship between these two guys where that is part of the possible exchanging in a round of golf. I'm just not going to overthink it.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that I can draw outrage from. The least of which, the way my head was working in the last 24 hours when I see the comments from Tom Izzo where he's like, we can play a basketball game and it can honor people who are dead. And I was just like, dude, there's a part of me that wanted to be outraged and say, can you just admit that you want to play basketball and like that you need to play the games without connecting it to like a horrible situation? Like, I hate when sports try to do that because I don't know that it's, but in the end, like, that's a weird thing to get outraged about.
Right.
This is a tampon. It just feels like at the end of the day, we need to acknowledge the silliness of it, and not try to do that thing where we look for outrage, because I've done that in the last 24 hours. I don't know if it's fair or not to Tom Izzo. I'm so used to being in a position where I'm supposed to be outraged that I saw comments from Izzo and I was like, am I supposed to be outraged? I'm kind of outraged. Should I be outraged? So at the end of the day, I just don't have any outrage towards a tampon.
I just want to point out that if my math is right, I met Jeff Ketchum in 2008. We started doing a show. It was actually St. Patrick's Day of 2008. So we are cooking up on 15 years, Ketch, since we've known each other. And I just heard you say the word tamponness for the first time. Like, that was I asked a question that created that word, and I am proud of myself.
I think during the break, I also thought of our relationship starting in 2008, really in earnest. And I can't help but think of the U.S. Open that year when Tiger wins the U.S. Open.
Right.
And you and I had a show to do. And I can remember, like, at 3:20 p.m., our show starting at 4, and almost calling in and saying, I'm going to be late.
Yeah, that was –
I am not missing the theater of that Monday playoff round that existed. Yeah, you and I go back a long way, all the way back to essentially kind of the beginning of the end of Tiger, and as
That's true.
His peak kind of existed. And then for the last 15 years, the Tiger Woods movie, this is where it goes into the final act of real weirdness.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, real quick.
To the point where now he's handing tampons.
He's handing tampons to people. Yeah, that's true. All right, quick trivia on the way out. Who was he facing in that U.S. Open in 08? Do you remember his name?
Oh, my God. The old guy.
One day playoff. Great dude. Had that big smile. He loved every minute of it. Fought Tiger shot for shot. Almost took it from him. Great name.
I've forgotten. I feel awful. Just tell me.
Rocco Mediate.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I never would have remembered that.
Rocco. Oh, that was good stuff.
I barely remember that Rocco was a live person. That's almost a name that if you'd given me 5 names, I would have thought, oh, that's the fake name.
Yes.
I don't know what the real answer, but that's a fake name.
Yeah.
No, that was that was back when Tiger could like play on one leg and still beat the hell out of people.
Right.
By the way,
exactly.
Do you think this segment of radio, you think there's another radio show in America today that has said the word tampon more than we have in this segment? I would offer this is Guinness Book of World Records level tampon commentary. I think we've set a record. I don't know what that means. I don't know if we should brag about it, but I do think it has occurred.
We deserve an award, Catch.
Tampon.
We definitely do.
Is there a hip-hop song that Zay can play called Tampon?
Oh, my God. I have no idea. Just like
we come back to break.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Hold on. I'm online. I'm just going to YouTube real quick.
Lord.
And I'm going to type in tampon song.
Please.
I just want to know if such a thing could possibly exist.
Oh, my God. It's on somebody's third album, 8 tracks
There
deep.
is something called the tampon song. Hold on.
Okay.
There's a song by some dude named Buddy Brown that has over 400,000 views.
Wow.
And the name of the song is They're Gonna Put Tampons in the Boys' Room. I don't know what that's about.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if that is a radio-suitable song.
Yeah, probably
But it's also not like some guy with a guitar with 520 views after like 12 years. So it got enough play that were in the hundreds of thousands of views in less than a year.
Yeah, like you always said, Catch, I don't know if it's good radio, but we did have a good time. That is what I would say about this segment. As always, Jeff Ketchum, orangebloods.com, at GKCatch on Twitter. If you are outraged at how many times the word tampon was said during this segment, please send your tweets to Catch and not us. Let him take all of that. Catch, we appreciate it, man.
It was like the F word in a Scorsese film. Like we were.
It really was. It really was. It was like a Tarantino. If you think about it, it really was kind of a Tarantino type of segment we just did.
I feel like he would be proud of us right now. Like,
yeah, that and
he
that
come out of retirement.
I don't even like sports talk. Yeah, I don't like sports talk radio, but I like that.
Yeah, and that tells us probably that gives you your answer. I think more than anything else. That is Jeff Ketchum. Kids, Jeff, you tell your wife and children we said hello, and please don't tell them what we talked about. Thank you, man.
I'm not going to tell them hello. I'm going to say tampon to them. Later, guys.
Thanks, man.
Nice catch.
Jeff Ketchum, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we'll see if that Tiger Woods story has any legs to it as we roll through this tournament. And we can talk about the in terms of why today matters coming up. This Tiger Woods tournament, him playing well. If he's in it over the weekend, are you interested? We'll get into that. Plus, we have some massive birthdays to talk about, sports and otherwise. Stay with us. It's The Horn. Whoa. Some quick work there. Do I have any shot here, Zay?
Nah, probably not.
Okay. Tell me who it is.
E40.
Yeah, I didn't have a shot. E40?
E40.
Is that one person?
Yes.
Or a group?
One person.
E40. Okay.
40 water. Sprinkle me, mate. Sprinkle me, mate.
Where is he from?
Sprinkle. The Bay Area.
Okay.
Oakland, California.
All right. E40. I've
Not
heard of E40.
E40, Too Short, Snoop Dogg, and Ice Cube just dropped the album together.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Too Short from out there as well?
Yes.
He's from out west?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like called, this is Sugar Tea, by the way. It's like Greatness of the West or Mount Westmore. I think that's what the album's called.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great title.
Right.
Mount Westmore.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's all right. It's
Okay.
all right.
Not a great record, but an all right record?
Yeah. E40 super underrated.
Okay. E40, The Doors, Kansas, Scandal, Ozzy. It's all been a part of the show. Juvenile, a great beat to start the hour. Here's what I think I mixed up. Is Genuine associated with a famous person? In some way.
I don't know.
I'm just going to keep naming rappers that start with that sound and see if I get it. There's somebody, I thought it was Juvenile, that had been associated with like a famous, female athlete or a female, like an actress or something
I
like that.
wouldn't be surprised if it was Genuine. Genuine had all the ladies back then.
Yeah, I can't remember who I'm thinking of. All right, so a lot of good music today, as always. We got a lot of stuff going on this weekend in terms of, a little bit of football, trying to make it with the XFL, but mainly for a lot of you that may not be interested there, you got NBA All-Star Weekend. Daytona is this weekend. Obviously, college basketball with Texas facing Oklahoma. College baseball with Texas facing Arkansas, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. Quick note on that. The Missouri game tomorrow is going to be on 1260 because of the conflict with basketball. So just note that. And everything else should be pretty normal. Women's game on the bat on Sunday. And then softball games on the bat, except for that Sunday game when it has a little conflict there with the women's game. The last softball game will move to 1260. So all across the Austin Radio Network will get you all kinds of Longhorn sports this weekend. Right now, let's get you Why Today Matters. It's February 17th. Here we go. There's a lot of things that you could talk about on February the 17th, but it is one of those days where you got a couple of GOAT discussions. Today is kind of a double GOAT day because Jim Brown and Michael Jordan share a birthday.
Damn.
So to many, those are the greatest that have ever played that game. Now, some would go with maybe a Jerry Rice if you're going all-time one guy. But there are plenty of NFL fans that would tell you it's Jim Brown, pound for pound, guy for guy, position for position.
Yeah, like Jerry Rice, Tom Brady.
Right? I mean, is Brady in the discussion now of not only, for some people, it's greatest quarterback ever. Would he be in that discussion? Greatest player ever because of the resume and everything that's there. Is it him? Happy 87 to Jim Brown today. Michael Jordan is a clean 60, like we talked about earlier in the week. He donated all the money to Make-A-Wish. So there has to be a big party plan for tonight. Michael's turning 60.
Yeah, he's going to turn up.
Yeah.
A lot of cigars going to be smoked. MJ will do it right.
He definitely will. That'll be an expensive night for a lot of folks. Happy birthday to those two guys. Happy birthday and rest in peace to Taylor Hawkins of Foo Fighters, the drummer that died in 2022. That was a sad story. Also, rest in peace to the great Buddy Ryan, who would have been 92 today, one of the craziest characters in coaching history. And he died in 2016. It's been that long. God, it's been 7 years almost since we lost Buddy Ryan.
Wow.
He was a crazy-ass old man.
I heard Rex might be up for the defensive coordinator job in Denver.
Really?
Yeah, I know Sean Payton and him go back.
Oh,
Look for that.
I hadn't even heard about him wanting to get back into it.
Yeah.
He's done well as a broadcaster, though. I like him there.
He has done pretty well.
Funny, seems to be comfortable with it, but I could see him wanting to go give it a shot one more time.
I mean, if he goes there, he's going to try to pluck Micah Parsons because they both have their foot fetish thing.
They are foot brothers. They are foot fetish brothers. There's no doubt about that. What else do we have musically today? In addition to the Taylor Hawkins, we got Ed Sheeran is 32 today, and tomorrow, Dr. Dre will turn 58 years old. Dr. Dre,
Damn.
2 years younger than MJ.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Interesting.
John Travolta will be 69 tomorrow. Nice. Rene Russo's 69 today.
Rene Russo.
They're that close together. If you ever seen Get Shorty?
Nuh-uh.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
You'd enjoy it. That's a good John Travolta. That's a really good John Travolta. It's a movie I didn't love the first time I saw it. It's grown on me over the years. I appreciate it a little bit more now, and the performances that are in it. Travolta's really good, and that is a Rene Russo, man. Woo! She's so good in that movie. Sexy as hell. Just everything she's supposed to be. Rene Russo's awesome.
I thought John in the Super Bowl commercial, I thought it was all right with those dudes from Scrubs.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was all right.
Yeah, I'm
Trying to pay homage to Grease a little bit.
I've grown numb to the Super Bowl spots over the years. It kind of jumped the shark for me, and now it takes a whole lot to get me to react. It's kind of like, okay, all right. Let's just kind of looking forward to getting back to the game.
Yo, I've had nightmares on the Tubi commercial with the bunnies throwing people out the house and throwing people in the rabbit hole and stuff. That's some scary-ish.
I'm glad I missed that spot. I've heard multiple people say that. I missed it. Somehow I missed it.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I don't need to see it. I don't want to see a commercial that's going to make me sleep differently. I don't need that at all. Another quick why today matters for me, Zay. Forget about this thing with Tiger and Justin Thomas and hands in the tampon or whatever. Forget about that. If Tiger's involved this weekend, does that draw you in? Are you one of those people that will watch golf that you might not have otherwise watched because of Tiger?
Yes.
Okay. Me too.
He just has that type of power, and it just looks different. Watching the crowds and just the publicity that he gets whenever he's on top, whenever he does well, it's just different. It's nothing that we'll ever see again.
I was trying to think of other examples of that. Like, are there people, I like tennis, I watch it anyway. Are there people that watch the Williams sisters just because they were them and they didn't like tennis?
For sure.
Because that's the true transcendence. If they make you watch a sport you wouldn't have watched, that's how powerful Tiger is. I can remember my grandmother in the 90s saying to me, have you heard about this Tiger Woods? She's never asked me about an athlete of any kind.
Right.
And she's asking about him. She doesn't play golf, doesn't watch golf, doesn't care about golf. But she would ask about him. And I was trying to think of other examples. Maybe Williams sisters. For me, Michael Phelps was that guy. I never watched swimming the rest of the year. Ever. I don't watch it. But when Michael Phelps was in that pool, I was watching.
The toughest brothers from the hoodest of hoods picked up a golf club when Tiger started doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just incredible.
Yeah. No, it's just it changes things, and you can see it this weekend. You can see those galleries change, and that's the part of it. It does, and through the years, he's obviously helped golf to raise itself in certain ways. Those other guys know it too, but it is just different when it's him.
Yeah,
it's different. If you took him out of there, the percentage of fans that would not be around, I don't know how. It's a truly unique thing in an individual sport.
The money wouldn't be what it is today.
Right.
If Tiger didn't come in the game.
There's no doubt. I hope he's involved. He was 5 shots back yesterday. There are other guys shooting really, really well right now. John Rahm is playing his earth off right now. A couple other guys up at the top playing really well. I think Justin and Rory are playing well.
Speaking of
with
Rory,
Tiger.
With that new little documentary series they got on Netflix following guys around the PGA Tour, they got Rory on there saying, F Phil.
Really?
Talking about Lefty. And I guess his association with Live Golf, he's out there saying, F Phil.
They caught that moment, huh?
Yo, he wanted them to catch it. He goes on after and goes, and y'all keep that in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, he knew he was on camera. He knew they were live.
Rory getting saucy, huh?
Rory getting saucy. I love it.
I do too.
Yeah, right?
I kind of liked it when, again,
I need that pettiness in golf.
Little petty, little sports drama, little soap opera. Yeah, I kind of like it. All right.
By the way, Chad, sorry, let me get this out before we go to break.
Okay.
My mom's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely. I love you. I can't wait to see you so we could celebrate.
I was going to say, got something planned for tomorrow?
No.
Take her out?
So
big meal?
We got like 5 birthdays in February in our family.
Oh, yeah.
So we just have one big celebration at the end of the month, and we're doing that.
That's weird how that happens in families, right?
Isn't that odd?
Yeah, you go back and trace that stuff. You'll get to some weird reasons why those things happen.
Yeah, we just had mine, my pops. We just had his. my nieces, my brother's lady, the whole nine. It's nuts.
Worn out at the end of February from all the celebrating. All right, that's why today matters to us, the 17th and a little bit of 18th tomorrow. Big weekend in sports, all kinds of stuff going on, even though the NFL just finished up. A lot of things happening. Stems and Seeds, before we get out of here, we'll set you up for today, tonight, the weekend, and then get to it ourselves. Ball Don't Lie is coming up with Rod and Hards. Keep it right here on The Horn. Almost done with the Friday show. Nice mellow way to end here. Do I have a chance here, Zay?
No, zero.
I do not recognize that voice. Who is it?
MC8.
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 Look at
from
you.
Compton's Most Wanted.
I'm going with the numbers this hour. E40 and MC8.
Yeah, pretty underground. MC8. I don't know if you've seen the movie Menace to Society.
I have not.
It has Lawrence Tate in there, and MC8 is also in there. It's probably like a couple of steps below Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's good. It's really good.
Good, just not that good.
It's not that
right.
good.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, it's a long way to go to get to that.
It's tough.
MC8, E40, The Doors, Kansas, Scandal, Ozzy have all been a part of the show. The Juvenile Beat to start this hour. If you missed it earlier, my 16-year-old daughter has decided Zay, in a couple weeks, has to check out Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer as an album to listen to. So he will be talking about that. At the same time, I will be talking about, let's see, next week is Old Dirty Bastard. That means, is it Raekwon?
Yeah.
That record is the next one.
Yeah,
I'm just about done with the Old Dirty Bastard. There's some really good stuff on there.
Yeah, it's good.
What I like is I'm getting a respect for the vision that RZA has is cool for getting the individuals a little attention. But, man, when they fire multiple talents at once in a song, that's when it goes to that next level.
Right.
That's that next level. Like the song Snakes on the ODB record. Everybody seems like they're on it. So you could tell it's not just him. When it starts as him and then there's another voice and another and it's back and forth, the energy just picks up a little bit. Man, when that whole crew is at least partially involved, it just takes it to another level.
And I think that's why Cuban Links, the Raekwon album, because it's featuring Ghostface. Like, Ghostface is on 14 out of the 17 songs.
So it'll be both of those guys.
Right.
Okay.
And now if you go listen to Iron Man, which we'll get to that in a few weeks too, that's featuring Raekwon and Capadonna.
Okay.
Capadonna's another member of Wu-Tang. He's not as popular as
And he shows up along the way, correct?
Yeah, he kind of shows up along the way.
Yeah.
He wasn't on Enter the Wu-Tang or 36 Chambers. He wasn't on that album because he was locked up. He was on the second Wu-Tang album. He was always in the group.
Okay.
He was just locked up. So, yeah, the features on the album and stuff, it's pretty incredible. And, yeah, you're right. RZA, just his vision, just remarkable how he knew everybody was going to be a star in their own right. Got them all their individual contracts and deals so they wouldn't be splitting money or fighting over money. And kept the group intact pretty much.
Yeah, I think it was one of those ensemble tracks that the high school kids were walking by the car yesterday and they heard coming out of the car. I had to kind of turn it down like, oh, hey, what's going on? I was like the guy at the beginning of Office Space, just trying to make sure everybody's like, okay, let's calm it down a little bit. All right, before we get out of here, let's get you stems and seeds and set you up for a big weekend.
No stress, no seeds, no stems, no sticks.
Brought to you by AV Consultations, 255-8678, or go to avconsultations.com. We haven't mentioned the story yet, but just keep your eye on it. Alvin Kamara indicted on in a battery case. There's a guy that plays with the Bengals that was involved, 2 other guys involved, and they are accused of assaulting a guy in Vegas last February. Zay, I'm reading this dude's looking for like $10 million in the separate suit. But now they've been indicted on this battery charge, and I think Kamara is claiming self-defense.
There are 5 of y'all stomping old boy out. Self-defense.
There's like 4 guys doing this to 1 guy.
Nah, man. It makes a lot of sense because Alvin Kamara had a horrible year. He was not good this year. So if that was on his mind.
Just distracting him.
Yeah, to distract him, it would make a lot of sense.
By the way, on the opposite side of things, how do you think Travis Kelce will do hosting Saturday Night Live?
Great. He's hilarious.
I agree. I think he'll
Very
pull it off.
personable, good-looking dude. Yeah, he'll kill it.
That's March 4th. He's agreed to do that. Also, throughout the weekend, you got Tiger and the rest of them at the Genesis event to peek in on. Zay, did I do anything to make you care about the XFL this week? Did I succeed at all?
Nah.
Oh, man. Okay. I'll come back with a full report for you.
All right. I'll take a peek.
Monday in the crap bag. I'll tell if there was anything worth dealing with.
I'll take a peek.
Okay.
I'll look in.
Texas and Oklahoma tomorrow. Do the Longhorns handle their business?
Yeah. Got to stop Grant Sherfield. Got to stop him, man. Number 25, he could really go if the Horns slow him down. I know Porter Mosier's squad's been playing good as of late, but you slow Grant Sherfield down, you give yourself a chance.
So there's a report out there that the Jets are going to visit with Derek Carr. Their new passing game coordinator, I think, has a history with him. If you're the Jets and you can't get Aaron Rodgers, is Derek Carr the next best option for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless if they could finesse somehow to get Lamar Jackson. I don't think they can, so yes.
Right. What about Carr or Ryan Tannehill?
Carr.
Okay. I think I might lean that way too. Because
maybe you know how bad that Aggie could be.
Like it's just maybe the Derek Carr thing does go up and down, but maybe it doesn't go as far down when it goes bad.
When Ryan Tannehill's bad, the whole team is like lifeless.
Yeah. No, it's so weird what can happen to him when it goes south. It's crazy.
And he's had the best running back in the last decade on this team.
Yes, that's fair to point out. Keep an eye on that. The Jets quarterback position could be interesting. Everybody have a great weekend. Ball Don't Lie coming up with Rod and Harge, and Longhorn Baseball cranks it up tonight with Arkansas. 7 o'clock, 6:45 pregame. That'll be right here on the Horn. Have a great weekend.